For the first time in almost a full decade, the Vancouver Canucks have clinched a playoff spot. Let's go! I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, weren't they in the playoffs in 2020? Yeah, they were, but they didn't clinch it. Like, they had to get in there by the play-in series that was opened up because they wanted more revenue because COVID shut everything down and they had 24 teams and it was not really the same. So we're not gonna count that as clinching a playoff spot, especially during the regular season, because the Vancouver Canucks, for the first time since 2015, are going officially to the normal 16-team Stanley Cup playoff format. This was the tale of the tape. The Vancouver Canucks, who are idle today, can clinch a playoff berth today and return to the playoffs for the first time since 2020. Clinching scenarios. The Canucks would clinch if the Minnesota Wild lose to the Vegas Golden Knights in any fashion, which did happen, and the St. Louis Blues lose to the San Jose Sharks in regulation. Now, a lot of us here on the West Coast, a lot of Canucks fans were looking at this game and saying, okay, Minnesota and Vegas, that's going to be a tight one. If Vegas ends up winning, which is possible, that'd be good. Minnesota ended up losing the game against Vegas in overtime. But the crazy part is, the game-winning goal was an empty netter. This Jonathan Marchessault goal in OT, empty net. Therefore, the Minnesota Wild don't get the loser point. They have 0 points out of this game, even though they lost in OT. It's the crazy rule. Nobody knew about it until this season when the Minnesota Wild started to pull their goaltender in extra time, but now it comes to bite them in the behind. They get the game to extra time, but they still lose, and they still walk away with 0 points. But that was only one game. Canucks fans were eagerly anticipating the start of the Blues and the Sharks game because it was like, yeah, if San Jose wins in regulation, then the Canucks will clinch. Great, right? But, like, what are the odds they do that? What are the odds that the San Jose Sharks really go out there and beat the St. Louis Blues, who are fighting for their own playoff lives, in regulation? Well, if you look at the Money Puck Deserve to Win-O-meter, you probably wouldn't think that the chance was too high. The Blues had a boatload of opportunities. The Blues looked really good, especially in the first and third periods. But they still lost. The St. Louis Blues blew this game. They lost 4-0 in regulation, and Canucks fans were watching this game like vultures. We were paying attention to this, tweeting about it, saying, oh, hey, look at that. It's 1-0. Filip Zadina just scored for San Jose. How poetic is that? Here's the tweet made by Riot Survivor. In the Quinn Hughes breakout season, it would only be appropriate that the Canucks' ticket to the postseason is clinched by Filip Zadina. And yeah, that is very, very poetic. Once again, he helps out the Canucks. Thank you, Ken Holland, for drafting Filip Zadina, and thank you, San Jose, for giving Filip Zadina a job and allowing him the right to go out there and score the 1-0 goal that proved to be the game winner. Next up, Mikael Granlund from Zetterlund and Eklund. Next up, Luke Cunnin. Next up, Jan Rud on the empty net. I'm not gonna lie, I had this game open on my computer. I was watching like a hawk, just checking out, seeing what was going on, because the Vancouver Canucks had a lot of playoff implications based off of this game. And they come true. Sometimes your dreams do come true, right? San Jose defeats St. Louis 4-0 in regulation. I believe they said on the broadcast this is like Mackenzie Blackwood's first win in over a month. That's really, really bad when you think about it like that. But the guy gets the 35-save shutout. Let's go out there and see. Yeah, when was the last time he had a win? Okay, it was. February 15th, 2024 was the last time that Mackenzie Blackwood had a win. 31 save performance against the Calgary Flames. That was over a month ago. Mackenzie Blackwood was saving his win until the most important game of the season for Vancouver because they needed it to screw over the St. Louis Blues. Here's Wyatt going out there and tweeting the Canucks were 20 minutes away, this is at the start of the third period, from locking up that playoff spot if San Jose holds on to this 3-goal lead against the St. Louis Blues. Get those towels ready, baby. We riding all over again. The Vancouver Canucks are officially in the playoffs. And I want to have a conversation as to what this means, what this could look like in terms of the standings. Now, if you go over to Money Puck, we were just there. Let's check it out again. The Canucks playoff odds were at 100% for a few weeks now. This isn't really surprising to see the Canucks make the dance, especially the fact that they are the top team in the Pacific at the moment, which, I mean, the gap is closing. Edmonton going out there and doing their thing. Kind of nuts to see them bounce back in the way that they have. But Vancouver was at a 100% chance of making the playoffs for a while now. If you go over to some of the other metrics here, I mean, the Canucks still have the third best odds of winning the Stanley Cup, which is not terrible. You know, it's not number one, but it's certainly pretty okay. Do they have the second most odds? Yeah, they do. Second best odds at making the Stanley Cup Finals, according to Money Puck's model right now. So whoever knows what happens here, then, hey, let me know in the comments what do you think is going to transpire and whether or not Money Puck has it right here. But if you go over to the wildcard race and you check out the Western Conference, Vancouver, as we had said, first, they have that X beside their name. Edmonton is 4 points behind with 1 game in hand, so they do have the capability of overtaking Vancouver sometime in the next little while here if the Canucks continue to lose games. Now, the Canucks are 6-3-1 in their last 10, so they technically have been doing fine, but when you watch the caliber of play that we're seeing from these guys, they're just not getting it done in terms of being able to put the puck in the back of the net. They're not able to hold on to these games, and they need to tighten things up as the playoffs come and go, because honestly, I'll say it here, it's a lot better to go through a little bit of a cold streak before the playoffs begin, rather than be hot up until the very end and then be cold once the playoffs start at that point. Like, get all the kinks out of the system, get all the controversy out of the way before the games really start to mean anything, because Vancouver is guaranteed with that X in their name to making the postseason. So right now, they have fewer points than the Dallas Stars. The Stars, though, have 3 more points in 1 more game played, so points percentage-wise, it actually does go to Dallas. In fact, Colorado has a higher points percentage than Vancouver as well. Let's assume second wildcard for now. The Canucks have the highest chance of playing off against the Nashville Predators, which honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Sure, the team just lost 2 games in a row in regulation, but the Preds have been coming off of a really good streak. What was it, 17, 18 games with a point, a bunch of wins, a very few amount of overtime losses, but they were still getting those loser points on top of that. Just a crazy big point streak for the Nashville Predators, and right now, if the Vancouver Canucks are not able to hold on to that top spot in the West, let alone the NHL, I mean, the Canucks are now 6 points back at the Rangers after having that stellar start and middle part to the year? Maybe the Canucks don't want that President's Trophies curse, who really knows, but either way, it looks a lot like Nashville is going to be the main target here. LA fighting it out with St. Louis. I would like to think that the Kings still have some opportunity to take out Vegas for that third Pacific spot and face Edmonton in the first round, but realistically, you know, it's just going to depend on what happens at the end of the season here. Vancouver will probably play off against the first wild card in Nashville based off of how the standings are right now, and you'll see Dallas play off against LA or Vegas, Colorado, Winnipeg, Edmonton against LA or Vegas, and that will be the West. So yeah, lots of big developments here for the Vancouver Canucks. They have officially clinched the playoff spot, very much thanks to Mackenzie Blackwood and the Philip Zadina-led San Jose Sharks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks having that X beside their name after the Minnesota Wild loss, as well as the St. Louis Blues loss. How excited are you for the playoffs, and have you bought your tickets yet? These tickets are expensive, man. I don't know if y'all been checking it out, but hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get 2 tickets in the upper bowl, and then like multiple $1,000s to get 2 tickets in the lower bowl. It's crazy. Francesco Aquilini, this is what you wanted, man. This is what you wanted, right? All of this playoff revenue coming right to you, selling out these games before the Canucks had even officially clinched. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks making the Stanley Cup playoffs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.